Hello everyone, how are you? And welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about birth control, hormones, and some of my Trader Joe's favorites, because I know that we all love Trader Joe's, so I can't wait to share those items with you. But if you have watched any of my previous current obsession videos, you will know that in these types of videos, I love to talk about food. I love food so much. Natural personal care, gut health, all things holistic wellness, and then every now and again I will sprinkle in some personal development. But in the previous current obsession video, I did talk about sleep, I talked about hormones, and I also talked about gut health, including 2 recipes where I made some gut healing gummies and some bone broth. So I can leave that video link down below if you do want to check that out. Now, I will also include all the other current obsession videos that I have done on my channel in the past. As always, if you do enjoy today's video, please be sure to give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And let's go ahead and get started with today's video. Okay, I totally want to get started with the Trader Joe's faves first, because I have a feeling that some of these items you may not even realize that they're at your Trader Joe's, and you've been missing out on some good quality tasting chocolate for some time. And I personally think that we need to change that as soon as possible. So the first item that I love getting from Trader Joe's is going to be their dark chocolate batons. This is going to be the one in raspberry, but they do have 2 other flavors. They have an original and they have a coffee. The raspberry is just typically the one that I buy. And the reason why I like these is because they're organic. They're made with much healthier ingredients. And then these are also dairy and gluten-free. And you wanna know how much they cost? Only $1. That's it. That's such an awesome price point for good quality tasting chocolate, you guys. So if you find yourself at Trader Joe's this upcoming weekend and you need a little chocolate fix, get yourself a baton. It's gonna get the job done. This next favorite I will put here on the side because I was looking for it at my Trader Joe's when I went grocery shopping, and I think it was out of stock. So hopefully they get that soon because I really like it. And it's from the brand Honey Mamas. It's their cacao nectar bars. So they're not necessarily a chocolate bar, but they taste like chocolate. If you've ever tried them before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They're just so rich and flavorful. So what I decided to do is I went to another grocery store where I know they carry them, and I bought 2 other flavors because they do carry other flavors as well. And I went to a store called Natural Grocers, and I bought the Cocoa No Nuts Cacao Nectar Bar. And then the other one that I got is the Lavender Red Rose. This one says that it's made with luscious coconut meat, dark cocoa, essence of lavender, red rose petals, and raw local honey. And these, where you'll want to buy them or find them actually, is in the refrigerated section. And the reason I like those is because they're made with much healthier ingredients, and then they're also going to be dairy and gluten-free. The other thing that I love getting from Trader Joe's that is chocolate related is going to be their dark chocolate sunflower seed butter cups. And these are just a much healthier peanut butter cup. These are also going to be dairy, gluten-free, and then they're made with much healthier ingredients. And where you'll want to find these is near the registers. So before you leave Trader Joe's and you pay for all your stuff, get one of these sunflower seed cups. And then for 2 non-chocolate related faves, I really like to get the Trader Joe's organic coconut water. It's this nice, pretty pink color. Ingredients in here is just organic coconut water. That's it. And I was really excited to try this a couple months back when I first came across it, because I really wondered if it tastes like the other coconut water that I love, which is from the brand Harmless Harvest. If you've tried that coconut water, let me know down in the comments. I think some of you have even told me that you can buy that at Costco. So I'm keeping my eye out because I haven't seen it at my Costco yet, but this is an awesome option. So the look is exactly the same. Ingredients I want to say are exactly the same, but the taste is similar, like super similar. Harmless Harvest is just a little bit sweeter in my opinion, but this just tastes so much better because the coconut water that I used to drink, it had this like metallic-y taste. I don't know if it was the packaging that it was in. I am not entirely sure, but these 2 are just now the options that I get. And then the other thing that I get from Trader Joe's is their creamy salted peanut butter. Really like this because the ingredients in here is just dry roasted peanuts and salt. That's it. The peanut butter that I used to eat contained inflammatory oils. There were some vegetable oils in there, and I wanted to make a switch to something that just had much simpler ingredients. I don't stock up on this too often, but every now and again I will use it if I'm using it for some sort of baking that I'm doing, and I just think it really tastes really good. It has just like the perfect ratio of peanuts and that saltiness flavor. All right, moving on to the topic of birth control. And I know this topic can be somewhat touchy, so a small disclaimer here. I am not a doctor, nor am I telling you what you should or shouldn't do when it comes to birth control and your options. Because birth control is one of those things that is very personal, and you need to make that decision with your doctor. And at the end of the day, it is your decision, your body, and only you know what's best for you and your health. So having said that, I can only share my experience with birth control, and I can only talk about what I felt when I was on birth control myself. And now that we have that out of the way, I went on the birth control pill specifically because I thought that I could get pregnant every single day of the year. 365 days, just always being able to get pregnant. And so I thought that I needed to go on the birth control pill because I was terrified of getting pregnant. And I went on it for about a year. And after that, I couldn't take any more of it. It was not working out very well. I gained just a ton of weight, and I was always bloated. I was constipated. I was very puffy, inflamed. And even though I wasn't pregnant, I looked pregnant because of just how puffy and bloated I looked. And now knowing what I do know, I know that the birth control pill was seriously affecting my gut health. So in 2014, I said enough is enough. I am going to do things a little different. And I started reading the book, Taking Charge of Your Fertility. This is from Toni Weschler. It's a pretty thick book, but it is honestly one of the best books that I have ever read. It was through this book that I was able to truly take charge of my fertility, and it just feels so empowering as a woman to finally be able to know how to work with my body instead of against it. And so the birth control option that I do now is called the Fertility Awareness Method. It is a method that really works well for me because I know that I am not pumping my body with these fake synthetic hormones that may be disrupting other things. This book also is very descriptive in how it tells you how to chart your cycle. And so some benefits that you can see when you chart your cycle is you get more of an awareness of how your hormones are doing, whether you're fertile or not, whether you're ovulating or not, which is very important to know whether you don't want to get pregnant or whether you want to have a family. So those are some of the things that you're able to see when you start charting your cycle. So this is the first book that I read, and then this other book that I just actually recently finished up because I wanted to learn even more about hormones is from Dr. Jolene Brighten. This is the book called Beyond the Pill. And if any of you are familiar with Dr. Brighten on Instagram, you know how just filled of knowledge she is. She is extremely knowledgeable and just puts out so much informational content. And if you do want to check both of these books out, I can also leave them linked down below in the description. And now that I've been talking about gut health and hormones, I really wanted to share yet another Trader Joe's fave with you. And this one you may be familiar with it because I talk about it on my Instagram stories all the time and how I've really come to love it. This is going to be the steamed and peeled baby beets. They're ready to eat, hot or cold. And I will typically eat them cold depending on their size. I will have about 1 or 2, and I'll cut them up into smaller pieces, put them in a salad, toss them in with some other veggies, and then drizzle them with some sort of vinaigrette or just other dressing that I make here at my house. But what you may not know is that beets are really good for liver support. Signs that will kind of indicate to you that you may need liver support will be things like digestive issues. you have hormone imbalances, you have acne, you're constipated, or you just feel tired and sluggish. Those are some signs that you may need liver support. I also like to eat beets because we are just exposed to so many chemicals and so many toxins nowadays, and so the liver can just get really congested. So ways that the liver gets congested that you may not even know is through all these chemicals and toxins that are in our food. That's why I'm always talking about how important the ingredient label is and how there's so many things that have inflammatory oils nowadays. And the personal care items that we use, those may not have the best ingredients for us, or the cookware that we're using, or if we have already some sort of gut issue going on, and just overall general stress that we experience on a daily basis. All of these things add up and can really start to congest the liver. Plus, the liver is one of those organs that's very helpful and necessary in the digestive process. And it's also one of our detoxification organs. And so I choose to love my liver and eat things like beets in order for it to work as best as it can. And my goodness, it is starting to get really dark outside real quick. We're gonna get a thunderstorm here shortly, so I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I will put some other videos here on the side that I think you would really love. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye, guys.